Hi, everybody.
Hey everybody, welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with
Oberon.
and the Banshee. And it's that time of year again, isn't it, Mr. O?
Yes, it's the wonderful.
That you dread.
It's the wonderful Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl prediction, our annual Super Bowl prediction. And though the Lions are not in the Super Bowl again this year, I brought them here in spirit. So, we're going to do a reading for the New England the New England Patriots versus the Seattle Seahawks. And I'm just going to say, I know the name of the quarterback for the Seahawks. I've seen a little bit more of them this year than the Patriots. But I'm really going in this very, very cold. I don't have a lot of background on either team, what their strengths, what their weaknesses are. We're just going to see what the cards have to say.
And your chosen partner has literally no interest at all, but thinks it's fun, of course, to try to make a prediction like this.
So join us as we muddle through this reading. It's got 8 parts, so it's going to be a reading. And we're going to take a look at various aspects that could influence gameplay. So wishing both teams good luck. I have nothing, no preferences. I have feelings about who I feel might win, which will come out probably in the reading.
And I think everyone needs to wish me a lot of luck. Here we go.
All righty then. So we're going to shuffle the cards first and foremost. I'm going to hand Mr. O in a minute to shuffle, get his little hands on there. His big hands on there. I want to say you have small hands.
They're bigly.
That has bad connotation.
Bigly hands. Well,
bigly
not really.
Hands.
But somebody once told me that I had piano fingers.
Oh.
I think they were making a pass.
I see. All right, Mr. O, shuffle away. I've already been shuffling them a bit before the show. Oh, and we are using, I'll show you in a minute when the camera.
Go ahead.
Okay. The Ehrenberg Tarot, which I really like a lot for collective readings of certain types. Guidebook is by Karen Boginski. And the deck itself, the art is by Steve Ehrenberg, I believe. Yes. All right. We use this deck on our WTF show. Well, position 1, Mr. O.
A look at both teams pre-game. 2 cards.
Okay, let's take a look. So I'm going to do the New England Patriots first alphabetically and then the Seattle Seahawks. And the first card is the Queen of Cups. Oh, that's really interesting. I think, emotionally they are primed for this game. They have their emotions in check. They are, and they really care, about this game in a deep way. They're doing this for their fans. They're doing this, of course, for the money, because of course Super Bowl winners, they're going to get better contracts, etc. So I think here their heart is in the right place. They know what they want, and they've got their emotions in check.
Which team?
This is the New England Patriots. Why am I doing that? I might just say Patriots from now on.
Well, I don't know anything about the team at all like you do, but it does feel like the contours are they're emotionally adjusted to the idea that, this game is important, but it's not the end all and be all, that they're really more calm about this, saying they made it this far. No matter what happens, they had that distinction.
They definitely are passionate about, doing this. So let's look at the Seattle Seahawks. Oh, I don't know why they have this, but it is the 10 of Swords.
Really?
Well, they may be coming into this feeling they have something to settle here. I don't know. Maybe because
Or they feel they're the underdog.
yeah, they could feel they are the underdog here. They may feel that way. They may feel like they have something to prove now that they have risen up from. I do believe they've been in playoffs and maybe Super Bowls before. Few teams have made it, to the. Few teams have not made it to the Super Bowl, is what I want to say. Lions being one of them. So maybe here they just feel like they have something to prove because I don't know if they have actually won a Super Bowl before.
All right, so our next position is on the offensive. How do each team's offense stand up against the other? And again, two cards. Patriots,
The Patriots have the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is
upright.
upright. Okay, so the offense. Wow. Um, so, all right, and let me put the other one out. This is for the Seahawks. I'm sorry, the five. The Five of Wands. Wow.
Well, it's kind of like an even match in a way. One
Isn't
is
it?
like ready to go buy the book and emphasize, the fact of um, I want to say this in a soft way, hierarchy, that there's a positioning between players and their values. The other one is more like we're ready to be competitive as possible in all ways.
I really like this. The offense to me is going to be fairly even matched because the Patriots seem to play together very well. They seem to have, their strategy set. Everybody knows their role. Everybody has mastered their positions and they're going to work that magic together harmoniously to really give the Seahawk defense a run for their money. And meanwhile, here, the Seattle Seahawks offense is playing to win. They're very competitive. They expect a lot of fast moves, a lot of aggressiveness, I believe,
And it
from
kind of
them.
combines with what you said about the 10 of sorts too, the idea that maybe there's a get back factor, or sort of like even the score factor too.
All right, well, keep in mind this is the offense only of each team. But yes, I like that. I do like that. I think here they may feel that they're very competitive. And from what I've seen of them, the few games that I did see of the Seahawks, I have to say their offense has really impressed me. And their quarterback, I believe it's Arnold. Arnold. Uh, has really, whoever it is, has really impressed me as well. So they're going to be a force to be reckoned with as well. I'm not sure I'm going to give an edge to either at this point in time. I would say, though, considering that this is Pentacles and this is Wands, that the New England offense will focus more on pacing themselves. They may have play the long game here. Their drives might be slow and steady, making it to the goal line. Whereas the Seahawks, they're going to keep moving. They're going to move that ball. They're going to move quickly downfield. They may have a good run game, but they're in it to move faster. And this is more of a pacing going on.
So let's look at the defensive look then. How do each team's defensive stand up against each other? And again, two cards.
Patriots have the star. Oh. Interesting indeed. And the Seahawks have, wow, the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is here. I
Wow.
do see an admonition with the Seahawks offense that I will bring up later as we backtrack a little bit and look at the overview. So I just saw something there, but I'm not going to go into it right now. Let's talk about the defenses. So both of these are very, very positive. I think the defenses are going to be strong on both teams. For example, the Patriots, the star is here. I think they're very optimistic. They're going in this game feeling they're going to have it under control. Every move they make is going to make them feel better. about themselves as they're going
It
forward.
almost feels like that there is a possibility they're overconfident, that
I like
they're
that. That
so
could be.
assured of their destiny. But maybe that plays towards, their strengths too.
So I think I will bring up my point with the offense, but because I it's going to play into what I'm saying about the Seahawk defense. The defense for the Seahawks is very together. They've got
We are family, right?
yeah, they've got a plan and they're going to execute it and they're going to fulfill their mission. So I feel here that they might be able to keep, regardless of how, you know, how how the offense of the Patriots paces themselves, they're going to really control. They're going to keep the control here. In the end, they're going to be very happy with their performance. Now, I'm saying that because I'm looking at the offense again, and there is an admonition with the five of wands. Will everybody be on the same page? There could be some blunders here. There may be a few blunders because they're racing so quickly and trying to move forward fast. And so some people may not get the memo, or some people might grandstand and try to, be the hero of the game. So I'd be wary of a little bit of that overly competitive edge here. Do you
Ooh.
see that?
And
Yeah.
I like that. It's appreciable. Um, my overall feeling is that with the defense, they just really feel like they are tight knit, care
Yeah.
about each other, and really know how everybody has their position, their
Right.
place.
Interesting. Let's move
Card
on.
4 on the sideline, coaching strategies.
How will
Again,
that
two cards.
influence
So,
things? Well, we got the Eight of Wands reversed. That's really interesting to me for the Patriots. Wow, wow, what is this? And the Four of Cups is upright.
so there's some ambivalence maybe
There
with those
is.
strategies a little bit.
It's almost as if they cancel each other out in a way that there's nothing new here. There's nothing new here. They're going to go with what they know. They're going to focus, but they got to be careful here because if they're thrown off by anything, the Patriots that the Seahawks are doing, the coaches, they got to be careful here in how they pivot. They don't want to make the players confused, disoriented. It might be best to stick with what they know as far as coaching
But
strategy
what I get
goes.
from that energy of that Eight of Wands reversed is a random factor and maybe a spontaneous factor, and so maybe that's just saying they want to be able to spontaneously change or alter or tweak their strategies. Something feels random there with that one. Maybe I don't know if that's exactly how they would see that.
Well, in a way, it could indicate, if on the positive level, it could indicate that they are, they realize that they can't stick with the same thing and they have to make changes and
Okay.
adjust as necessary. However, that may present some problems. It may present some problems because this card is reversed. Now, the four is kind of an ambivalent card either way. In other words, it's possible here that the coaches may miss some key opportunities
Yes.
for
I was going to
important.
say that the strategy.
Go
Go on.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, the strategy was just waiting for an opportunity.
Okay. Well, I think here that the coaches may miss opportunities to shift and make changes, or do some out of the box plays, at the appropriate moment. Timing is everything, and if they're not paying attention, they may miss an opportunity to capitalize on maybe some of the mistakes that the other team is making. For example, if there's interceptions, fumbles, etc., or whatever the case may be, they've got somebody held down at fourth down, and let's say they got the Patriots held down at fourth down, and they're going to go for it. What do you do to stop them? Are you able to pivot? Are you able to anticipate their actions? So it'll be interesting to see how the coaches' strategies operate under pressure on both sides. That's the way I'm kind of looking at that.
All right, I made a little room for us in the middle there.
So we could add more cards there?
So we can add more
thank you.
cards there.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so then position 5, the role that refereeing will play in the game. And
We
this is
all
just one,
know.
because there is one basic referee.
No, there isn't.
Oh, okay. See, I
There are
didn't know that.
referees all over the field.
Well, but I meant that they have one voice. They all agree with each other. Do they ever argue with each
They
other?
do,
Right.
but they have to come up with a decision
Right.
ultimately. And
That's why
what-
it's one card.
And that's where replays come in. Wow, it's the Eight of Pentacles reversed. You know, in a way, I'm not surprised by this. People are not going to be satisfied with the performance of the referees. That's my opinion. So I
Yep.
kind of feel here that because this Eight of Pentacles is a work card and it's reversed, and it reflects on how well somebody is doing their job or not. And in this case, I feel that there's a lot of dissatisfaction with how the job is. You know, the players are going to feel it. The fans on both sides are going to feel it. They're going to feel like some decisions were either favoring one team over the other, or that there were just some bad calls being made.
Well, not knowing the game like you do, or even, the culpability of referees one way or the other, this almost looks like referees' decisions that are not really based on what they should know.
Right.
In other words, once again, a randomish factor or a factor of being scurrilous about what the actual facts on the ground are.
All right, what's next?
Card position 6. Will this be a close, hard-fought game? One card. Uh-oh. Hey.
Well, the sun is reversed.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. What do you feel about that?
Okay.
I feel it may not be.
I think people are going to really like the game, but they're going to think that it needed just a little bit more, but it was pretty good.
Well, will be a close, hard-fought game, maybe. But I feel here that people weren't all happy with the gameplay. Maybe they feel that it could have been a little bit more exciting, which could mean that one team could over dominate. Although I'm really not seeing
Things
that in
seem
the
matched.
cards here. It's possible here it could be a very low-scoring game because of how I see a lot of the matchup going thus far. We're going to have to recap this one and think about this, but I feel here there's something a little less satisfying or bright about the gameplay.
Agreed.
All right, so
Wild card, position 7.
Thanks, wild card. The wild card is supposed to be something that could be a major factor that pops up in the game one way or another. Some pivotal event that turns the game one way or the other. And look what I have here.
The Two of Swords.
Yeah. Could it be a stalemate? Could there actually be an overtime for this game because the score is tied?
Oh, okay.
I think
So
it's
that's an
possible.
interesting idea. Well, and you almost thought that with the sun reversed too, that there would be,
Delays.
something, less invigorating there.
Well, it'll be exciting in that who's going to win it in overtime because overtime, I mean, it's usually kind of like a sudden death sort of thing. I mean, the team that scores. So it'll be really interesting here, but it almost seems. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, when I do the editing here, I need to look through my audio tapes to see if I have a drum roll, because we're ready for that final card.
Well,
Dun, dun,
not
dun.
totally, because I want to talk about this a little more, because I also feel here that this could indicate that this is a very even matchup. You've got the two swords there evenly balanced on the shoulders here. So I suspect this is going to be a very close game. I do. I think it's going to be close. It may not be as hard, and I think maybe why the sun is here now is because it is going to be a game that might be not decided till the end or going into overtime. I think it's highly possible we could have an overtime scenario here. I'm just throwing that out there. All right, so we're on the last card finally, Mr. O. Your torture is almost over.
Which team will likely win the game? Hey, I'm actually been into it. I mean, you had to cut me off from being giddy.
All right, so let's look at the Patriots. What's the likelihood that they could win the game? Well, they have the Knight of Cups upright. I'm going to put that here. Does it fit here? No, I'll put it here.
Maybe up here.
Oh, okay. So, okay. I like that. And for the Seahawks, Temperance is reversed. Wow. That's very interesting.
It makes it, to me, look like it's the Patriots more likely.
Yes, it does. It definitely does. I think in the end, uh, it's possible here that they will lose their momentum. The Seahawks will lose their momentum, slip up in some way to break this stalemate. And it just seems like something has suddenly become out of balance. I'm hoping it's not an injury, that takes somebody out that I don't see any of that here, that takes somebody out that was really essential at the end that could cause this. I'm thinking more likely one wonders if it won't be the bad refereeing or if it's something else. Something is definitely out of balance.
And
Go
I'm going
ahead.
to say symbolically, it looks to me like the knight wants to please his queen
How ironic that.
by winning the game.
There is a bit of emotion here, but there's a bit of emotion in both. Each of these have two cup cards, which I find very interesting, which is emotion. But in this case, the knight is moving forward in joy and happiness. And really, it almost seems like a victory march going on here, a celebration because they're holding up that cup. Cheers.
The sense of temperance being in moderation could stand for the idea that they just kind of time out on this. They lose their resolve or they're too tired. Whatever you mentioned, possible injuries. I'm not sure that means that, but just that the morale kind of thing sort of makes the difference.
Well, something's making the difference. You notice two cups here out of balance. You notice a single cup here in the knight's hand, totally upright. And I just feel like the Seahawks don't bring it home, which, I have to say, personally, I kind of felt the Seahawks might win this one. So I'll be curious to see how this turns out. I just felt from what I have seen of them that they really have a lot of, they want it. They're hungry for this. But to be fair, I haven't seen enough of the Patriots this year to make an assumption that they're not equally as hungry or passionate about this. I feel here that it looks like the Patriots might pull this off, and I feel here that it may be a very close game. I don't know if it will go back and forth, or if there will be a lot of times that there will be runs going forward from each team's offense that get stymied before they can win this game. We didn't talk about specialty teams, and I didn't have that in this game, and I will, or in this reading. And I will say this: it's highly possible that this game might be decided by the kicks. Might be decided by the specialty team and field goals, extra points, things like that may be the thing that will make the difference.
What's the bottom card?
It's the Six of Swords reversed.
So I'm going to say maybe whichever team wins by 6 points. Is that possible?
It is possible. Anything's possible. So, yes, it is possible.
Just a little random idea I felt.
That could be 2 field goals, or that could be a touchdown without an extra point, stuff like that.
At any rate, we are going to say it looks more like the Patriots than the Seahawks.
Patriots and the Seahawks, and I'm going to say, just to go with Mr. O a little bit, but I'm going to say be no more than 3 to 7 points to win this game. In my opinion, it's going to be interesting to see. I do think, in a way, as I look back here, that the coaching, it's going to depend on who really pays attention coaching wise, right? Because we noticed that there was a little of ambivalence going on here. Where is that card that spoke of? Yeah, the 8 of ambivalence and the 4. And I'm going to also feel that the offenses might make the difference. Will, for example, these guys working together so cohesively, and this one having players, the Seahawks having players that might be grandstanding or, maybe not working together quite as well. Maybe there's a little bit of conflict there or just, not an ability to real, follow through on the plays that have been called. I'm not sure. I do feel that they are going to be very, very aggressive in their play offensively, the Seahawks. So, hey, good luck. Good luck to both teams, and I always say, may the best team win. I hate to see it come down to a bad call by refs or any other kind of shenanigans. May the best team win.
Excelsior.
Until next year,
All right.
unless we're wrong again, because I think we're very close now, right?
Right.
To being 50-50 if we're wrong about this.
Yeah, maybe this one won't work out next year if our record dips much more.
So anyway, take care, everybody. Have a fun time watching the game. I will be watching, and we hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.